Victorians as an ornamental plant, but it soon escaped and it's now romping across the UK. Listed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature as one of the world's 100 worst invasive species, Japanese knotweed swamps all other vegetation in its path and can even burst through tarmac. It grows incredibly quickly, over a metre in 3 weeks, and is now so prolific that there's not a single 6 square mile in the country where it's not found. If you've ever tried to eradicate this triffic-like plant, you'll know how difficult it is. Complete removal methods are both difficult and expensive, and currently cost the UK an estimated £150 million a year. And it's incredibly easy to spread knotweed. All it takes is a pea-sized root fragment to infest an area, like this site in West Horsley, Surrey. It appears to me it's likely to have come in on that rubbish.
We've marked it all off so that people don't keep walking in and out here, because if we just take a little bit away in our boots without checking them when we leave, we could have it all over the rest of the garden.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's the problem. People, A, don't recognise it, then don't know how to deal with it, and don't realise that the tiniest little bit in a bit of rubbish, like a dump, can then infect your land. So what have you done so far to control it?
Yeah. Well, last autumn we had a spray in here, and as you can see, this spring it's come back as if nothing had happened.
To eradicate the knotweed for good, the community have had to call in an environmental consultant. So why is Japanese knotweed so incredibly difficult to remove?
Well, you've got underneath this stand of Japanese knotweed a massive underground root system which we call rhizomes. Typically on a well-established stand like this you'll have roots going down at least 2 metres deep, and they will spread laterally, normally within sort of 2 to 3 metres of any visible plant.
So why can't I just dig it up and throw it in my dustbin?
Well, because Japanese knotweed is classified as a controlled waste,
right,
and therefore all the Environmental Protection Act requirements apply to this plant.
Knotweed's destructive force is now gaining the attention of homeowners, as some high street banks are declining mortgages on properties infested with knotweed. To finally rid the community garden of knotweed, Nick and his team have had to extract and sieve tons of infested soil. This costly method is effective, but researchers at CABI, an agricultural research organisation, are hoping they've found a natural solution to the knotweed problem. So what research have you been doing here at CABI?
Well, what we've been doing is going back to the area of origin of the plant, Japanese knotweed, which is surprisingly Japan, and trying to find the natural enemies that feed on it and might have a potential for controlling it here. In Japan, there's almost 200 species feeding on it, and our job was to find which of those might be suitable.
It's vital that Dick's team finds a predator which feeds only on knotweed, so that it does not damage other British plants and wildlife.
It's a process of elimination, choosing the agent. We had to reject 199 of those organisms to find the one that does feed on it, Aphelara itadori. This is this little psyllid, and these psyllids suck the sap from the plant, or at least their young do. This is the damage caused by a group of nymphs just feeding at the base here. But what you can see here is these tiny leaves, and those leaves won't get any bigger.
Right.
So the impact on that compared to that, as you can see, that plant is not going to be performing well if it had loads of leaves like this. It ends up with the plant suffering quite significantly.
So it's basically stunting it?
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
The government have now granted a licence for a controlled release of this natural predator. In the time being, if you're under attack from Japanese knotweed, call in the experts. But if tests with natural predators go well, we could soon have a method of controlling this superweed, saving the economy millions of pounds a year.